Got a couple hawks back here. I heard the whistling. He sees me. This is right here in Los Angeles. They're pretty huge. These things will eat your pets. Pretty cool. I'm on my way to the shop to meet with this guy, Paul. Paul is the guy, he's the winner of the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I didn't do an individual video on that. I did a Sunday night chat where I mentioned, hey, I'm about to hit 10,000 subscribers. If you're watching this right now and you own an Astro van, I have a heavy duty swivel that I'm willing to give away. Just send me an email with the best story, and he was the guy. And it worked out perfect because he seemed like a nice guy and he's local here in Los Angeles. So he's going to meet me over there in about 30 minutes and you'll meet him, and I guess I'll see his Astro van, and I'll show you guys this seat swivel, and it'll be really cool. So stick around, don't go anywhere. What's up, man?
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I was just ready to set this thing up, but
Nice
you're
to
already
meet you.
here. Yeah. Look at this badass Safari.
That's it.
I like the color.
That's what a $500 crappy paint job gets you.
Yeah? And you said what year is this thing?
96.
Dude, how many miles you got on it?
I got it with 115. I got about 152 now.
Nice, man.
This was my COVID purchase.
Nice. Let's go and take a look at the shop. I just got here. I was doing something for the people that live here, and then we'll talk about this.
But this one looks pretty robust.
It is. That's a well-made, and I'm pretty certain it'll work for. I think it's made for the Astro van.
Right.
That's how it was mentioned to me. And so this is Paul. We'll talk to Paul about his Astro van in a moment. But this was something that was given to me by Kyle. I think that was his name. Thanks, Kyle. He's the guy I was telling you about that gave me all those parts.
Right.
So this was in that pile, and you can see it's marked front. And you can see, yeah. So the seat goes this way, right. And you're going to have to figure out how to do that because you have to separate the slider unit from the seat you have.
Right.
And then put that together, and you probably have to stack some washers or whatever to make this work. But here, go ahead and hold this for me, and we'll just show how this works here. So you just unloosen this, turn it counterclockwise, and then this thing swivels.
Wow.
Now this is very well made, and you can see the offset. So they put the offset in, so you got enough room to spin the seat while the door is closed. And you can see the thickness of the steel. It's got a little dust on it. It's shop dust. We call this man glitter. And then you just tighten this up, fold the handle in. So this is, I wouldn't say this is as nice with all the bells and whistles as the, was it Iron Wolf?
Iron Cloud. Right.
Guy. But there's nothing wrong. This thing is heavy duty, man. This is way nicer than what the other option. Right. Which is what that, like Harbor Freight or some other northern
very
northern
thin
tool.
steel.
Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. So that's yours. So this is for Paul because, as I was saying, I did a little preamble in the van on the way over here. I put a little thing out there for 10,000 subscribers. He's one of the people that wrote a note, and I'll be honest, I was lazy. Right. He was in LA. It's yours, bro. As long as you can come and get it, you know.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Mike. Thanks.
So, how long have you had your Astro van?
It was my COVID purchase.
Right.
You know, when the world shut down, I had a couple bucks in my pocket. Was getting cabin fever like everybody else. So hopped on the marketplace there, and sure enough, 96 Astro, one owner, right here off of It was right off of Cesar Chavez. So right off Chinatown. Went and saw the guy. He was asking $1,800.
Cheap.
Cheap.
No
But,
rust, right?
No, California car, its whole life.
Two-wheel drive though.
Two-wheel drive.
Okay.
It is a rear-wheel drive. Thanks, Mike. By the way, you taught me a lot about Astro vans.
Yeah.
I had no idea there's a difference between. There was a second and third generation. I just
Right.
thought it went from slant nose to
Right.
this one, but
Now you know you can put a lift on it.
I did know that, but I have so many projects.
If you did a lift, and if you did a posi, then both your rear wheels would turn, and you'd be very capable. With a lift, aggressive tires, and both your rear wheels turn, you'll get anywhere pretty much. You don't always need four-wheel drive.
Absolutely. Proof positive, one of the first major upgrades I did to the van was I got some General Grabber all-terrain tires.
Saw them on there.
And I was surprised at how much of a difference that does make. And
huge.
So, first trip I made, bought the van $1,800, drove it straight to Bryce Canyon in southern Utah.
Whoa, wow! Without even like tune-up,
No,
looking at
I
it.
put I changed the oil.
Okay.
Tires were still pretty solid, so I was rolling on the stock rubber. But threw a sleeping bag back there. I tore the third row and the second row out.
Do you have a build in there now, or is it still
I don't.
stuck?
I have a no build, so
Good.
I just ripped the back seats out. I have I'll show you, but I have a couch from Walmart.
Let's take a look. Let's
then,
push. Let me push this button here. Hold this for a moment. It's rolling. Open this garage gate here. Let's take a look at this. There's the mess. You guys have seen it before. I really like the color. You painted it?
I had it painted.
What color was it?
It was like a dark gray, I believe it was. But the whole hood, clear was gone. It was gone to metal.
Right.
So I went on Marketplace again, and I had somebody to paint it for $750. It's not the best, obviously. There's a lot of run, but they put it on decent. Makes it a little presentable.
Okay, so you don't have the
But
plastic.
They painted over everything.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Oh, yeah, even the handles.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's $800. So this thing, I like to maintain. I'd love to build it out like you. Your vans, but
It's still a work in progress.
they always are, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I actually put my motorcycles back here sometimes.
Right. So you want to be able to get this out.
So
and
it
make
works
room.
for me. Me and the wife actually. All you gotta do is slide this out. This is $110 at a Walmart. And you have essentially a full-size bed there.
Yeah.
And then I just bring a wrench with me. I'll pop the 4 bolts out of the bottom,
Turn it around.
flip it around.
You won't have to do that anymore.
No.
That'll make your life a lot easier.
Definitely.
Now, are you been in like extreme heat or extreme cold with this thing or anything?
I mean, the hottest I've been is probably I went out to Monument Valley.
I just saw this, so I was just going to ask you. Yeah.
Out in, this July, I believe it was, about a year ago. So I was probably up about 105. But you know, I have a toolie box. I'll carry a 10x10 pop-up canopy. I got a yard sprayer. I converted into a shower.
Nice.
I got 10 gallons of fresh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you Filipino?
I am, 100%.
I
I just came back from the Philippines, as a matter of fact.
Nice. I've had a couple Filipino. I dated a few. You know,
Sure.
it was awesome. And then when I was lost out in the woods there, I ran across a bunch of Asian people. I think that they were all Filipino. So
Yeah.
I was gonna make almost like a joke, but it seems like that culture, those guys, they like to do that and go camping. And when I'm listening to you, it's like to them, it's natural.
Yeah.
They just make it all work. You don't have to have what I've been building
Exactly.
at all. This works.
If you just to get out of a tent, get
Yeah.
into an enclosed
Oh,
structure
yeah,
where you feel safe.
Plus, it's nice like when it's stormy and you're in here.
Right.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
Totally protected.
Spend a whole day in here listening to music.
What about like bugs and stuff? Do you put up a screen or anything?
I do. I have these.
I like
Sure,
I like the custom run that he did on the paint job there.
Pinstripe one.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
they
sure
go
you've
over the
seen
doors.
these.
Yep. I mean, I was considering those.
And then these have helped a great deal. 'Cause
Yes.
You can leave your windows
Yeah.
cracked, but still
All
not
the
get any
time.
bug
Yep.
ingress. You know, I did the valve cover gaskets. That was interesting on a
Yeah.
stubby nose vehicle like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Tune up, plugs, wires, cap rotor. On my way home from Monument Valley, The transmission took a big dump, but luckily it got me home. So it's got a brand new GM reman.
Okay. What did you? Okay, so same transmission, just rebuilt.
Correct.
Now, was this thing stolen?
I don't believe so.
So what's going on at the steering column here?
With the
Where the key goes in and everything, looks like somebody busted it open and started it with a screwdriver or something.
I hope that's not the case, but
Oh, so you weren't aware of that?
no.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. So was this a salvage title or anything?
No, it's clear title.
Nice.
I looked at the Carfax. The guy that sold it to me was the guy on the Carfax.
So this guy was really good. I like that he has a matching run here.
Yeah.
So maybe he put four of them around the car.
It's uniform. At
Yeah,
least,
yeah.
You know, consistency.
People hate when I do that. And you're missing your windshield wiper on the back.
You know, those aren't the easiest size to find, I've come to realize.
Yeah, you can measure mine. It doesn't have to be exact.
Okay.
As long as it will go, as long as it stops short of it here,
Right.
you're golden.
But the motor works, I know that.
Yeah, mine works. The fluid works on mine and everything.
One of the things I love the most about this thing is the availability.
Yeah,
You know?
of the parts.
You go to a junkyard, there's 30 of these things sitting there. I mean, LA is where Astros and Safaris come to spend their golden years.
Well, this is a hardcore work truck. Are you familiar with the painting American Gothic?
Yeah, of course.
So there's a modern version of American Gothic, which is it seems racist, but I'm pretty certain it was done by a Hispanic person, and it's a gardener with his wife who's a cleaning lady, standing just like American Gothic with that back of that Astro van behind him. And these are like the ultimate work trucks. These are the people you see using these things still on the road today because
500,000 miles.
Yeah, dude, the payload is great on these things, and the capacity and the size they can fit in a regular parking space. They're amazing.
To be able to, I mean, I'll stick my 600-pound Harley Davidson back there.
Really?
You can't beat that.
What bike is it?
I have a Sportster.
Okay.
And then I have a Suzuki Sport bike, so best of both worlds. Matter of fact, yesterday I was in Fresno picking up an 86 Goldwing.
Nice. Check you out. I'm off the bikes right now, man, but it's nice to hear you're on them. So did you have this up there?
No.
Okay.
I bought a U-Haul trailer because the Goldwing is actually too tall.
Right. That's what I was figuring. Yeah.
But I told my wife, man, just the utility this thing provides.
Yeah.
Yep. Not to mention it's our camping mobile as well.
Just taking a look here. You guys know what this looks like. You've seen the underside of mine. Let's see what your front end looks like here. Because, you know, a lot of the people who watch the channel, they all have the all-wheel drives.
Right.
And they're not used to seeing what a two-wheel drive looks like because it doesn't have that issue that we all have with the front axle rubbing. So, so here's how this works. You got these cross members here that go back to cross members much further back. You definitely have some leaking going on. Or like, you know, your oil pan's caked with oil. And your lines are wet, but that even could be your hydro boost. I got an issue with that on mine.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was my brake fluid reservoir had cracked.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of fluid coming out of there. But luckily I was able to go to the junkyard.
Totally different front end setup. It's a coil spring with a shock going through it. So it is interesting. They are absolutely different.
Different animals. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like I said, if I would have known there was an all-wheel drive variant, I certainly would have looked for one.
You still can get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, like these things are. He said he spent $1,800 on this. That's a deal. And it's been running. And how many miles was on it when you got it?
It was either 115 or 118 when I got it. I've got about 152,000 on it.
Dude, that's the only issue I would say. So I was on the horn yesterday with a guy in Arizona. He's living near where I have a house there. He's getting ready to move to Hawaii with his wife, and they're bringing the van. And he got it at about 110,000 miles, and he bought it from a dealer down near San Diego. And he said the guy had detailed it, steam cleaned the bottom and everything. And then by the time he got it back to Arizona, it was just piss and oil. So it needed a ton of stuff. And so that's the danger zone. 100,000, getting close to 100,000 to 120,000 miles, you see these for sale, cheap, because they were never serviced. Right. And everything needs to be done that's the problem with buying those things. And a lot of people buy these because they want to do what you're doing with the adventure, but they don't know enough. And then they end up running into all these problems. And then they think it's a money pit, and then they talk a bunch of smack about it, but they don't realize if you want one of these vehicles, you have to buy it with the mindset of it's a project and you're going to pump all the money into it because it's worth it. If it's got no rust, again, the size, the power, the payload, everything that the Astro van provides is unmatched by any other vehicle on the road today.
Oh, yeah.
So just know, if you're going to buy it, you got to be thinking, I have to put money into it, thousands of dollars. So
I mean, that's the case with any older vehicle, you know.
For the
but I
most part.
feel like the pros outweigh the cons, you know.
I think so.
The cost of entry is a lot lower. Parts for this are widely available. You know, working on it's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
There's not too many kooky electronics going on.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's a hassle for some people with working with the doghouse, but once you learn that, it's not a big deal. I mean, every vehicle has pluses and minuses to that sort of thing. Like, one of the pluses is if you had to work on the backside of that engine with the distributor and everything, you take that seat out, you're sitting right there.
Yeah.
It's way easier than working on an S10 or something else where you got to work over everything.
Oh, yeah.
So once you figure that out, you realize this isn't so bad.
Not to mention, I've always had smaller cars, and once I drove this, I had more of an appreciation for that thing that truck drivers talk about, you know, that comfort, that commanding view of the road.
Yeah.
It feels like a stout vehicle.
You are a little higher in this than everybody else. I'm much higher because
Right.
of the lift and everything.
Right.
If you did that, and I would recommend it, if you're going to do the work, do a lift, consider a posi, and then you'll feel better about being out in the woods, like taking fire roads and things like that. Yeah.
What year is your van?
Mine's an 04. So with the third gen, it's, yeah,
And you did the 4x4 conversion. It was
yeah, well, I
all-wheel
brought
drive
it
at
to
the
a
time.
place, yeah. That was when I first got it, and I wasn't as comfortable working on it. But yes, I went to Journeys Off-Road. I did their lift kit and their 4x4 conversion with the new transfer case that leaked from the jump.
Right. I remember that.
You saw that?
I did.
It was a friggin' fiasco with those guys. But the products are good. They just didn't do the best job on the install on mine, that's all. And it could have been for a whole bunch apparently it was my fault for talking to them, that's what he was trying to tell me. I was like, fuck you, are you a pro or not?
Right.
It's ridiculous. Anyhow, sorry. But yes, I had the lift done, I had the 4x4 done, all of that, and it's been working perfectly.
Right.
I had other issues with the gearing and
Sure.
when I did all that with the axles and everything else. So
But I was watching your last video. You're saying you're getting something like 25 miles per gallon or something?
no, I mean, it could be that, but that's rare. That's at a certain speed. That's not
Okay.
very high. But on the highway, it's anywhere, usually, it could be 13, it could be 23.
Okay.
You know, but it's just, I can get it to the point where if I'm just cruising flat, it doesn't matter if I'm doing 60 or 80. I could be at like 20, 22 miles per gallon, as long as I don't have a headwind or I'm not going up a grade or anything like that.
Take that all day long.
Yeah, and well, the thing is like it's once you're at that speed and you don't have to stop for anything, you're cruising and you're getting excellent fuel economy. You hit traffic spots, you have to slow down, then you speed up again to get to that speed, or you hit the grade or you get the wind, then your fuel economy goes in the shitter. It doesn't matter what you're driving. I mean, newer vehicles, it doesn't hurt them as much, but these, it hurts them.
Yeah.
So,
Plus
but
you got her geared differently, right?
I have it geared differently. I have a new computer. I have the new transmission. I have my shifting points changed, so it shifts out of first faster. So my inner city driving, my fuel economy is way better than it was when I first had it.
Right.
And the bigger tires help too. It just rolls easier.
Okay.
So your tires are spinning less than yours are. Your tires are smaller, so they're spinning more to do the same work.
You had to relearn your speedo, or?
I had all that done and programmed in with the computer when I got the new computer. So there's a guy, E-Waltz Auto Tuning. Talk to him. He's in like South Dakota. He's got a website, and he can do your computer for any vehicle. So he can reprogram your computer. You just tell him what you're doing with it. Like if you put a bigger tire on it, you change your gearing, whatever, he'll program all that in. And then you have to drive the piss out of it because every time you get in it, the computer's relearning your driving habits. And then eventually it just kind of finds its place.
I wonder how much different yours drives than mine.
Well, a lot. Our whole front ends are different. Everything's different. And
You've got how many miles?
I think I just hit 220 or 221.
Oh, okay.
So when I bought it, it was like 163.
Okay.
And I've driven across the country at least 4 times to the East Coast and back, a lot of other trips. And it's, dude, I love it. And it handles well. I mean, but I've beefed up the suspension, and I don't get roll in the back. And it's like a new vehicle.
Right.
And once I figured the suspension out, and I'm not done, I'm still going to beef it up for off-road. But that thing's like on rails, so I could be going super fast. And the highways out here, you could have a grade change between 2 lanes. and people are doing, everybody around you is doing 80 miles an hour or more, and the road can just do these sudden things. And on that thing, no problem, dude. It's running awesome. It's awesome. I always say you have to do everything. You got to think about your tires. You have to think about your suspension. You have to think about all your sensors and everything else. You just get it knowing you're going to do it incrementally every weekend, put new sensors in, replace everything. Before you know it, you've got a new vehicle. Right. And you can do almost all of that yourself.
Right.
So, yeah, it's cool, dude.
I got the whole front end done. Idler arms, upper control arms, shocks. I put some new shocks in the rear as well.
It's sitting nice. Yes, I saw that when I was looking at it from the side. The stance on it is pretty good. I got a car coming, so I don't want to go out in the middle of the road. And then are these tires look like they're a little bit larger than factory, or are they the same size?
I think that just has to do with the sidewall siping, but yeah, they're the factory size.
All right.
They do look beefier though.
Yeah, but it always makes it look cool. Yeah, dude, it looks good. I didn't like these wheels, but these should be 15s.
They are 15s.
And so on the rear, you've got drums on this because you're second gen.
I just did the drums on those. That was fun. First time doing drum brakes.
Yeah.
I try to do as much as I can well. And if I feel like I can't do it well and to a certain standard, I have it done by somebody that can.
I'm gonna do a stand right there like you were. I'm making him pose for me. All right, so Paul just left. What a nice guy. He brought burritos, which was super nice, and he even brought me an Astro van key fob. I'm not going to use it as a keychain, but I'll put it in the Astro van somewhere, which he did not need to do. So he's a Filipino guy. They're such nice people. We had a huge discussion about it. Newly married guy, nurse, and his wife's a nurse. Just a super nice fella. I keep finding this. Generally speaking, the Astro van owners are really cool, interesting people. So that was cool. He's super stoked about the seat swivel. I asked him to send me pictures when he's doing it or when he puts it in, and to stay in touch because he's like in Alhambra or something. Doesn't live that far away. He likes to go camping with his wife, and so who knows? Maybe if we could do something together one day, and it's fun. This is the thing I like most about having the van and living where I live now. I mentioned how I have a leak around the timing cover. I'm not exactly sure what it is, and I'm finally going to bring it in Monday morning. I was watching videos this morning on doing the job, and that's when I realized it might not be the timing cover seal. It could be the little seal that goes around the output shaft there that the harmonic balancer is mounted to. So I'm not sure. But when I went out to the van this morning, it's not dripping here, but there was a little oil that came out underneath the van. That's the first time ever that's happened. So I got to nip this in the bud right now. And when I went up here, I got all these extra parts up here, as you guys might recall. So I got some of my shocks in here and other CV axles where the boots went bad. I've got a Delphi fuel pump in here. I've got brakes over here. You see those were already used. Those are the ones I took off the van. I got a starter. There's a whole steering box right here. Still have a bunch of extra parts and gaskets and other things for the van. This is the unit. This is not an Eaton unit. I had a Yukon is in here, but there's the posi I took out of the van. This still works. If somebody's interested in a posi unit, it's a Yukon. I'm willing to sell that. There's a new harmonic balancer right here that I've got to put in the van. genuine GM part. And then I've got, this happens to be a Dorman. I just wanted to check it out right quick here. This is the timing cover. And I just wanted to see if it has the, yes, it does. So it's got the seal in it. So it could be that the seal is bad. So anyhow, I've got this part, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna bring this over to SMG Auto on Beverly Boulevard, and I think it's I can't think of the name of the street, but it's right there on Beverly, kind of like Koreatown. There's a Chevron station there, and in there is Irvin and his brother Edgar, and it's SMG Auto. So they'll take care of this for me Monday, and then we'll take care of that leak, and I'll have my ball the Hydro Boost. I don't have one to give him. He thinks I could get a better deal than what he could find. So I could order one from Rock Auto today if I just leave right now, and it could get here before Monday, I suppose. Maybe I'll see if they could do that. I'd like to have them do both at the same time. But those are like the last two things I believe that I need to do to my van that are bothering me. Obviously, there's still tons of projects on the van, but those are just the two big things I want to get taken care of as soon as possible. Anyhow, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It felt real good to hook somebody up. So I got a lot of stuff, man. I'll probably be giving more of it away at some point. But that's it for now. I will say this real quick before I go. Dave gave my number to a guy who's in Sierra Vista, which is the town next to where I have the house in Arizona. And he has an Astro van. And we talked on the yesterday on the phone for like an hour and a half. And that was really pleasant as well. So feels good. You know, I've been kind of out of the Astro van thing for a bit because I've been so busy working and doing other things. But I like being part of the community. And these heavy-duty axles are coming. We've got a suspension idea Dave mentioned to me yesterday, and I started looking into that last night and this morning, and it seems like a very viable idea, possible solution. I won't say anything else about that for now, but it seems pretty cool. So we're kind of pioneering stuff on the van, which is odd to me because we're relatively new to this. There's people that have been modifying these all-wheel drive Astro vans for decades before we came along, and you know, why are we making these parts and making it work? That's kind of weird to me, but I'm happy, and I'm happy to help, and I'm happy to pass this knowledge on to other people and make the parts available. Getting a whole company to make these axles for us is a big stinking deal, so it makes me feel good. That's it. Do well by doing good, you know? Or do good by doing well. Do well by doing good. That's it. That's the Ben Franklin quote. I'll leave you with that. Be kind. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Look at that beast.